tribute to Dave Marsden. Dave Marsden was a loving father to 4 girls. I remember Uncle Dave as a strong, loving, and faithful man. I always enjoyed going to my Uncle Dave's house because they had a playground in the backyard that I'd spend all day on, even if I had to put up with the occasional makeover from his 4 daughters and my sister. Once I got older, I was able to develop more of a friendship-like relationship with him. For instance, every time I saw him, I always looked forward to our traditional arm wrestle, which, of course, I always lost. Something I always found interesting about Uncle Dave was that he grew up in the same little town as my dad. For some reason, that always made me feel a little closer to him than some of my other uncles. Regretfully, after I grew up, I didn't get to see Uncle Dave as often, with the exception of when family tragedy struck. It's unfortunate that sometimes it takes a tragedy to bring families together. Uncle Dave always managed to keep the mood light, even when the situations could have been anything but. He made sure to keep us cheerful and smiling, and I always was thankful to him for that. Dave's eldest daughter of 4, Kimberly, shared with me just how supportive he was of her in every endeavor and passion she pursued. That no matter what she wanted to be, he was right there in support of her. From what Kimberly told me, her father was always there and never missed an event, recital, or moment to be there for her. He loved his daughters with every fiber of who he was, that he dedicated almost every motion of his life with his family. Dave's second daughter, Jenna, shared with me the following. One of her favorite memories of her dad was when she was dyeing her hair, but it dyed her ears, and Dave couldn't help but shake his head and laugh the entire time. She said that he was always standing up for her and her sisters, even to the littlest of comments. That he was a strong person all the way to the end. Sometimes it was hard to get humor out of him, but he did have a sense of humor. He loved Yoshida sauce. And one time he told Jenna's husband, "Yoshida in the toilet." She said it was the naughtiest joke she'd ever heard him say. He had a pretty rough life, but he never gave up. He persevered through some really rough times, and that really stood out to her. But the biggest thing with him was his love for our Savior. He loved him so much that he wasn't afraid to show it. She really believes that's how we can carry on his legacy, is by continuing to share our love of Christ. His second to youngest daughter, Emily, remembers his contagious love for Christmas. So much that he'd spend much of the holiday worrying if he had gotten the girls enough presents. When it came to Christmas, Uncle Dave really got into the holiday spirit, putting up the decorations, the Christmas tree, presents, and what he took pride in the most, putting up his Christmas lights every year. I personally can vouch for Uncle Dave's love of the holidays. I'll never forget getting a family Christmas card in the mail every year as a kid with their family on the front. Madeline, Dave's youngest daughter, was very much into karate and became very good at it, even going the distance to get her black belt along with her older sister Emily. Dave always gave his best effort to be there to every single one of their tournaments. She too also remembers her father's love for the Christmas season, staying up late, preparing their presents, and making sure that everything was perfect so that each Christmas would be one they'd never forget. Dave Marsden was very much a family man. He loved his family more than anything in the world and would have given anything for them. He may have married into my mom's family, but never once did any of us see him as an in-law. To us, he was always, and always will be, part of our family. He was a good man all throughout his entire life, We will miss him dearly, though I don't believe that Uncle Dave would want us feeling sad for him, because although he did die at a relatively young age, he lived a very rich and full life to my knowledge. He got to have 4 beautiful daughters and see each of them married. He got to meet his grandchildren, and I'm sure he spoiled them every chance he got, as all grandparents do. We love and will miss you, always. And we know you've gone to a much better place. Thank you for all the memories, beautiful moments, and wondrous blessings you gave us with your children. Rest in loving, everlasting peace, Dave Marsden.